was, and we're live. That was exciting.
Yep, testing out a new mic. I just gave last minute information, so I don't know if anyone's going to show up, but mainly it's to see if this mic's going to behave itself. I hope it does. This was actually a Christmas present from our oldest.
Well, it sounds perfect on this end.
Yeah, and I've got the gain almost all the way down. So now we'll just have to see if it starts screwing up later on. But Eli's been asking me if we were going to stream all day, and because I told him next Saturday, because that's what we had said.
Right.
And then you contacted me after that, and I'm like, well, maybe Brett wants a 5-minute break from the house. Because that's what I'm doing. This whole thing that I was filling with pencil shavings.
Yeah.
It just either disappeared or somebody dumped them, but they dumped it so clean that I don't see any anymore. and I've never seen that. So
that's funny. That's hilarious.
I've got a feeling it's around here somewhere. Yeah. I just don't know where. That's all.
Well, yeah.
So my thinking today is just to hang out for a little bit, test this mic, and maybe work on the layout for the current page. There's only like the 3 panels left, but you got a train going by, huh?
Yep. Apparently my microphone picks up lots of things.
Oh yeah, that was pretty loud.
Well, they get louder. I mean, we're up the hill from it, but like that one.
Yeah, that's pretty loud.
No, they get louder. I mean, there's sometimes they've been loud enough where I got kind of grumpy about it because I was like, okay, I get that you're, whatever, it's a safety feature, but it doesn't have to go on for that long, does it?
How many roads do they cross?
Oh gosh, lots of them through here.
Well, that's probably more than likely.
Yeah, but there's enough space where they could have stopped. You know what I mean? Like they could have paused. And instead it was like they were just sitting on the tracks going super slow and just, I'll just do all of it right now. It's just, terrible. And like I said, I'm up the hill. So stop, like there's a couple streets between me and the train tracks, but when they go through, hey, your camera did that thing again.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on with it.
I don't
know. I suspect that there's something in the cord, but I really couldn't tell you what's going on with it. It's not supposed to be able to focus either way. Like I'm not supposed to be able to open the let's see. Not supposed to be able to open the Logic tuner. It's so weird that it has, like, it seems like it wants control of it's connected to the integrated webcam. Like, how is that possible?
I don't know.
Yep, it zoomed right out on this too, so that should zoom in some, right?
Yeah, it zoomed in.
Need help with your camera. What's it gonna say?
Oh, that might be up too high. I never turned it down. I was like, man, that's loud.
Yeah, I was thinking that same thing.
I was also thinking, hey, we probably should turn the music on. just in case.
Right.
Also, want to make sure I test. That your headphones get tested out under normal conditions. I guess.
Right. It's pretty loud. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I was gonna click over and look something up, and that's when they shrunk. So I want to see if it does it again. Hmm. So funny when if I wasn't trying to look for something specific, this image would pop up every freaking time. Now that I am trying to look up something in specific, let's see if I can eliminate one word and change the outcome. So I've got an idea. I want to do kind of a Frazetta tribute with this panel, the bigger panel.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's a specific painting that I want to use for reference. And any other time, it would pop up just with his name. And now I get, oh wow, that I might be able to find that quicker there. So how was your Christmas?
It was fine. Kind of low key.
Not to be confused with Loki or an aardvark or a sea lion. Wow. So, I think I asked you if you'd seen the show Taboo.
Right. And
I don't think I got an answer.
well, it's kind of funny because the day you asked me, I'd kind of been thinking about it. I didn't know what it was, but I'm pretty certain I saw it when it was on FX originally, right?
BBC.
All right,
Well, it's the BBC program, and it's
Right, well.
Tom Hardy and
right. but I had I think I had seen part of that first episode because I remembered the part where they say something about burying the guy a little extra deep, paying more to bury him 2 feet
Yeah.
deeper. And
Yeah, to keep grave robbers from digging them up so easy.
yeah, and yeah, then it started going to the commercials, and I got bored real fast. I was like, I never. But I was thinking about it the other day, just because I was like, because Tom Hardy's also in Peaky Blinders,
Yep.
and
This show actually is some deep conspiracy twisted shit. It's like it's period drama, like Dickens period drama, but there's a bunch of conspiracies in it, and it alludes to African or Indian magic.
wow.
And Tom Hardy's. Everybody thinks he's dead. His character is dead, and then he returns to
Yeah, I
inherit
got that.
inherit his father's business, but he's got a half sister that wants that stuff, and then there's other complications, and there's a whole deep plot I don't want to get into because it'll ruin the show for anybody. But yeah, obviously there's only 8 episodes, but I was watching an episode every time I was working out on the rebounder.
Wow.
And I just finished the series like last night, but I wanted to see if you had seen it because it's really period fiction. It's actually 1812, 1814, something like that, because it's during the Napoleonic Wars and the War of 1812. Yeah, trying not to sneeze, but no promises. I think I've come down with a cold.
Oh, fun.
Oh yeah, it's always fun in my house. Yeah, it was low and way back Christmas for us too. Except for I lost the use of my credit card because something wanted to charge me 4 times and they stopped it.
Oh.
They stopped it the first time, which probably would have been right to let go through.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I wasn't sure if I had gone to this place or another place to get what it was.
Oh yeah.
And so I contested the charges, and then they just shut my card down. Like, oh yeah, Merry Christmas. You shut my card down. Like, so I can't do anything with it. That wasn't fun, but I didn't really have a whole lot of money and a whole lot of plans either, so.
Oh.
But, like, our family pretty much showed up all together because Kate's been staying with us. And Logan stopped by. Guess I got to put my glasses on if I want to see.
It's overrated.
Seeing?
Yeah, just draw by touch.
Well, you're not looking at me. I'm looking at something.
I'm just saying you should draw by touch from now on.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you're not looking at me, so that might be overrated. But all right, now that I've found what I was looking for, a lot quicker than you two, I might add, because they still haven't. I thought Bono was going to drive off a cliff.
Really?
False advertising. Oh yeah, he was claiming that if Trump won, he was gonna drive
Wow.
off a cliff. Like, damn it! Just kidding.
Well, you got to say whatever it takes to be relevant.
Yeah, it's a sad thing actually that it takes that to be relevant. That's just like that whole insurance company guy. You've got to jump on the bandwagon and say that murder is not murder because you don't like the way that businesses are run. Well, like, I don't like the way businesses are run either. I don't like the way car companies are run, or inspection stations. So I can just run around and kill people, right?
Yeah.
And people that have nothing to do with my own personal issues, because that would be okay. Yeah, it's just sad. It's sad that people are just jumping on saying it's okay because he was worth more than them is really what it was. Really, what it comes down to is that they can make their money and not pay out, but that's not. He's playing within the rules. You don't like the rules, you got to change the rules. I mean, you got to legally change the rules because legally he's doing what he can, and anybody else can do what they can to make money in their business. Whether it's morally right or not, business got nothing to do with it, right? It's secular.
Well, there's a reason why every once in a while you have a French Revolution. And
Does the French want to win a fight once in a while?
well, I'm just saying. Not that I think it's not a good place to go. Don't get me wrong. I do not condone it. I don't think it's. It is a scary sign to me. That we could be in a place where people are saying that's okay.
Yeah, it's murder.
Because that's like you're teetering on the edge of the collapse of civilization.
Well, when you kill someone to affect a political change, it's literally the definition of terrorism.
Well, that's great, but if
when
you're
you
going to
kill
sit there and if you're going to charge this guy with terrorism, why don't you charge people that go into schools and shoot them up because they don't feel seen or whatever?
Well, but that's not literally trying to affect a political change. It's that they're not happy with the system. Now, I think that there should. Yeah, it's not about politics though.
I'm saying, what's the politics of shooting the? You just said the CEOs. It's all business and secular. So if it's all business, then you're affecting a business change. You're basically doing a bomb hit.
They're not trying to change a business. They're trying to change the way the country does things with that particular business. And I am not opposed to having a special deeper penalty for people that go in and shoot up schools, but most of them don't survive. They don't last that long. However, this guy's literally he's killing someone that has nothing to do with him. Dude's never had anything to do with that company in his life. That company has nothing to do with his whatevers. He's not incapable. He wasn't broke. It was just a matter of looking for someone to kill. And it was an excuse. But when you say you did it because of the way that this system is run, and that system is run by the government, like literally that system is controlled by that government, then you're trying to affect a political change.
Yeah, I think that's a massively slippery slope.
Uh, well, we'll we'll just have to agree to disagree because I'm
Well,
not
hey, if
looking
I
to.
go in and I shoot up
I'm not
anyone,
looking to fight. I'm not looking to argue and fight over shit like that. That's not
I'm just
why
saying it's a
why I'm
slippery
on.
slope.
Yeah,
Government's involved with all
you,
kinds of things: interstate
you
commerce. There's taxation. There's all kinds of stuff. People's
right.
jobs and livelihoods. Like it's just a slippery slope.
Nobody's killing someone because of the tax man. And if they were trying to affect the tax change, then yeah, that would be the same thing in my book. But I'm not the one that defined this.
Well, and
I'm
again,
just agreeing with somebody else's definition.
well, I think most of the school shooters, again, schools are all run by the government. So every single one of them, some way,
Not
shape, or
all of them.
form,
Some of them are private schools, but yeah,
they're
I
still
don't agree
dictated
with.
by
I
Department of
don't.
Education.
Eh, I don't agree with going in and shooting up a school, but none of those people in there, even in their manifestos, say anything about causing a change.
I just find it's interesting. You see somebody go after somebody rich, and then all of a sudden that's terrorism. You go after poor, defenseless kids. Well, that's
So
just
you're actually saying that about me, and that's not what I said. And I'm not all of a sudden that's terrorism. If you're trying to affect a political change, it's terrorism by definition. I'm not making it up. I'm not saying, oh, because it's money, because I don't give a shit. Whether you're wealthy or poor, you're a murderer if you're doing that shit. But if you're doing it for that purpose, doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor either. It's still the same thing. So if you're talking about me, that's wrong. I am not changing my definition to fit the social class. Because by the way, I fit the poor social class, not the rich one. And the guy who killed that guy was in the fucking rich social class as well.
yeah, I know that.
So that's just a straw man.
Well, no, I just find it interesting that nobody suggested terrorism charges for anyone that shot up a school, but you shoot up a CEO, that's terrorism.
Well, nobody that shut up a school said I'm going to do this to change the healthcare system or to change.
They have had
system.
political manifestos. Absolutely, they have.
Which one was about changing the school system?
Anyone that wants to sit there and say that we want to have, we want to have all these wonderful rights and we were picked on and blah blah blah.
Which
that
one
is
of them
a
said
critique of
something
how the
about,
system is run.
Which one of them said something about killing people to change the system?
All right, fine. I'm going to have to. You have one current thing that you can rely on. I'll go through, dig up things, and then what are you going to do? You're going to say, well, okay, fine.
Well, what do you mean I'm going to say blah, blah, blah?
You're going to tell me that I am completely wrong about the fact that they were political
This is what you're doing. I asked not to fucking fight over this shit.
All right,
and
well,
that's
then
exactly,
let's end the stream. I said let's do a short one, and you sat there and set up everything else.
Because
let's just end up on a short one.
I don't think it's the same argument. And you
Well, that's cool, but
you're not producing anything that's the same. So I don't want to fight. I don't want to get heated over it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I got you all up on it.
Yeah, but you like to say what you want to say, and then you want to sit there and say, I don't want to fight.
Dude, you've just been going off on this and accusing me of doing something that I have not done.
See, you got to have that last word, don't you?
What?
Well, if you want to have the last word, either have the last word and call it a night, or drop it now. Rich, we're dropping it so we can talk about other things.
I don't want to fight. I don't want to take up anything or bring up anything that's going to start a fight. I didn't think that was going to get heated, so I'm just going to leave it be and draw for a little bit. Like, I'm not trying to start anything either way. Either way. I'm not making any accusations. I'm not whatever. I'm just drawing.
No. Hey, no, bite down. Come. I'm not here yet. Come on. Keep trying. Look, soft. Soft. Hey, no.
You can
Who's
pick
that?
you can pick a subject. Yeah, that's the point. That's the idea.
Okay. No, I've been looking at what you've been drawing, and I know the whole process. It's just you've got a silhouette that could be more than one thing at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not done, and I know it's not done, and I'm not saying that's what. But I was just trying to figure out. Part of it looked like a baseball cap, kind of turned. Part of it kind of looked like a duck. I don't know how else to explain it. And I was just trying to. Then I saw the kind of the lines for the 6-pack, and then I was like,
I don't see the baseball cap, but okay.
Well, if you think about the abs, do you see how it kind of curls down? Like if you held a baseball cap vertically with the bill down, the abs would be the bill. Now it kind of looks like a baseball cap with a chicken leg. It's about like looking at clouds at this point. You know, you're just kind of seeing silhouettes and filling it in with your brain. Do you know when that Superman movie comes out?
June or July.
Have you ever seen a full press like hype machine trying to push a movie this early?
I don't know. Not that I couldn't say because I don't pay attention to them that much. Like they started on Nosferatu a long time ago as well.
That's true.
I just don't. I didn't try to measure it like that, but
And it could be the algorithm.
there's a lot of shit talking going on about this movie, and
Yeah.
it's polarizing. So I think it's more hyped up because it's polarizing than because there's actual hype. Because some people are just pissed off still about Henry Cavill, and
Yeah.
some people are they never liked the Henry Cavill version anyway, and I don't know. I don't honestly care enough about Superman to get in on it, except for that I think they did Henry Cavill wrong. You don't
that's
let
fun.
someone announce that they're going to be Superman and full force get behind him announcing it, and then fucking fire him afterwards, like almost right afterwards. That's just a dickhead move. And then James Gunn talking about the fucking muscles being fake when David Corenswet's muscles aren't even close to as big as fucking Henry Cavill's were. It takes trick photography to make him look anywhere near that.
Well, that's one of those things that's like Henry Cavill's topless in that movie. Like, you can't fake it. It's got to be there. Well, I guess you can CGI it. But I'm like, yeah, it's just. But, you know, you've seen him
Well,
on
we
The
know he
Witcher.
didn't because he showed us him working out. There was pictures all along of him working out.
Yeah.
There are two pictures of David Corenswet, and neither one of them actually shows. Well, there are 2 pictures in one photo session, but that photo session is lit from just the right angle. When you see the ones that are not lit from just the right angle,
Yeah.
he's severely flattened out. And when he's not flexing, there's nothing there really. I mean, I'm not saying that there's nothing at all there, but it's not like not anything worth mentioning.
I wasn't exactly thrilled, and don't get me wrong, I don't think Man of Steel is the greatest movie ever. There were parts of it that I enjoyed, but DC has not had that great of writers for most of their films, and that one was no different. And I don't see this new one being any better. But
and that's kind of what I said when somebody mentioned he had his chance. I'm like, he didn't get his chance to play this kind of Superman. He had to play whatever the script said.
yeah,
He wasn't like, oh, I can change it. Like he did a little bit with Witcher because he could stay true to the source material because he had the fan base, and that show wouldn't have been what it was without the fan base.
Yeah.
Superman, on the other hand, is got a fan base just because it's Superman, and some of these people are into it because it's Superman. Some of them are into it because he's the innocent-looking Clark Kent or whatever. But the thing is that it's if he's going to be the innocent-looking Clark Kent, it's just another remake. It's just another origin story, pretty much. Like he can't be that established. I just don't buy that he's that established, and it's not an origin story if he gets the shit beaten out of him and he needs Krypto to come save him. And yes, that's a direct scene from a comic book, but Krypto is not Silver Age Superman. It's the next step.
Why would you want cheap viewers? I want viewers who are of the highest caliber, and that's what we get here. So thank you, SPE4, but I think we will skip your cheap viewers and go for the high quality stuff.
It's like the cheap, fast, and good rule. You can have one.
I was watching a video, Jeremy Johns' worst of 2024, and he was bitching about the Spider-Verse without the Spider-Man, and because he put Madam Web on the list. He did not put Craven on the list. Spoiler alert. And he thought about it.
That got
What?
recalled from theaters, right?
Huh?
Craven got recalled from theaters?
Did it?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Wow. Anyway, so but then Jeremy Johns was like, why, if you're gonna have a Spider-Verse without Spider-Man, couldn't Craven have hunted Venom? And I thought, oh god, that actually would have been good. I would be interested in watching that. That could have been Venom 3 and I would have been happy.
I think the problem with that is that Craven isn't listed as having any supernatural powers. So I don't think he'd last long against Venom.
I don't know. He took down Spider-Man once.
Yeah, but Spider-Man, unlike Venom, doesn't believe in killing his bad guys.
I still think it would be interesting. That would be an interesting. I agree. That would definitely have to be a challenge. How do you address that fact? So, but, and I suppose that might be why I'm interested, because I don't know how I would address that fact. But be interesting. You know what the Loomis method is, right?
Yep.
So, I'm thinking of a T-shirt design where it's an advertisement for the Loomis method, but it's about psychology. It's like a way to make unkillable psychopaths. Instead of just pictures of heads.
Well, the Loomis method's more about heads than about heads.
That's true, but it's
just his head structure that's famous.
Yeah. Which is kind of, ironic because of the whole psychology aspect of it then. I did not know that. Wait, hold on. Yeah. Did you know that Sam Loomis was also a character in Psycho?
Yeah, but it's Andrew Loomis that's the artist.
Yeah, I get that. That's why I was just gonna be the Loomis method, not the.
And Jeff Loomis is a heavy metal guitarist that's a legend. Does his own music on the side now. Plays for Arch Enemy as well, but Jeff Loomis is a very respected guitarist. There are lots of Loomises, I guess, is what I'm getting at. But Andrew is the artist. I want to say Loomis was a character in a Clint Eastwood movie too, right?
I don't know. have we ever specified what color Mastiff's uniform is?
Gray.
How light or dark of gray?
Neutral gray.
Exactly in the middle of all grays.
Yes, the grayest of grays. kind of like it's kind of like New England weather in the winter.
I was just
Gray.
thinking how this weather makes everything here looks dilapidated and old.
Yeah, gray, gray skies, gray snow, gray everything. It's so gray, like Lewis Black said. It's so gray that people want to slit their wrists to see some color.
Wow.
So we still got somebody watching. Thank you, whoever's watching. Because this was like a last minute everything, and we didn't really have time to plan. I think I went on an hour ago announcing that we were going to be on for a little while.
Well, you know, some people may actually have this set with notifications on, crazy as it is.
Well,
You might
at
actually
least-
get notified.
either at least one person does, or it's somebody we know that's.
It's SPE4.
Yeah, yesterday I had this feeling like I had to get back to work next week. And I don't know why, I was seriously like I had to check the school calendar, and then I had to make sure what day it was. Because I had lost all concept of time. And yeah, so I thought this was our last Friday or last Saturday. See, I told you I have no concept of time. But anyway, so I was heavily confused. Which I don't know if I'll be home before tomorrow night's group meet. Because we didn't go anywhere tonight. Well, the boys went places because they had dates, but
You didn't have a date?
Well, mine's at home, so she kind of comes with the place. So I got to thinking about that the other day about how people feel like they get old and they don't go out anymore and blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, because you built a home that you wanted to be in. Why would you
Well,
want to go out necessarily? So
because you get sick of staring at the same four walls.
well, I get that, but I have to go to
The,
work
the
every day
problem,
normally.
more, the problem more for me is that there's nothing to do but get in trouble at all the places I used to like to go to. There's, there's no malls to gather at. There's no strips. Not that I'm not too old for that shit anyway, but there's no public gathering places to do anything. The theaters are a joke. There's nothing playing ever that's interesting, really. So, I mean, I I can. It's hard to go. Okay, what are we gonna do other than go out to eat?
Yeah.
So, other than going out and getting something to eat, then what's the attraction to going out? I don't dance. Uh, she doesn't dance in public. We don't do karaoke. Like there's a choir thing that comes around sometimes that she likes to go to sing in public, but then she really doesn't want me to be there. So I guess I can't blame her. But yeah, it's pretty hard when there's actually nothing to do. Like, you can only go shopping for so much, especially when you don't have any money, or
Yeah.
when your funds are limited. You're going to be completely bored. You can't go and hang out with kids that party and all that shit because you've outgrown all that shit. And I literally even can't party. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't because like the conditions that I have, anything that I would do to party would exacerbate those conditions and make them worse. So she, I actually would go to a theater, but she doesn't like to go to theaters at all. I used to take the kids when I wanted to go and see something in the theater because they'd like to go, but she never did. So, like, very rarely did I get her to go to a theater. And the last thing that we saw in the theater together was the Freddie Mercury movie. That's how long ago that was.
That might have been the last time I went to the movie theater with my wife because ever since she had the stroke, doesn't like to watch movies.
Yeah, well, my wife doesn't like to go to theaters at all. I mean, she has no enjoyment of the theater. So the only times that she ever wants to go to a theater, it's generally to see something that she knows I don't want to go see. So, like, I don't know, maybe it's the theater is a get away from me card. That's possible. Probable even. Well, good thing this was just a quick layout sketch.
Why?
Oh,
Or are
because
you
it
being
needs work.
Okay.
It needs work. Yeah, I'm being sarcastic as well.
Okay.
Like, so that's actually the main idea I was having. I got the idea laid out, and that's a win.
Yeah.
Yep. Pretty much the Taboo is the last thing I watched, and I watched one other thing before that. I just trying to remember what it was.
Well, I know you said you watched the first episode of
Oh
Skeleton
yeah,
Crew and thought it.
yeah. That wasn't. I watched the first episode of Skeleton Crew. That was it. It didn't do the trick for me. It was Fallout that I watched
Yeah.
before that. Which, like I pretty much liked. I just didn't like that they had one particular episode that was dedicated to everything capitalist was evil.
Well, yeah. That's normal.
Yeah, I didn't say it wasn't normal. I just said I didn't dig it. That's not what I'm into it for. So I liked a lot of the other parts of it. Like I like a lot of post-apocalyptic fiction, but I guess in a particular way. Like I like good people trying to do good things in very bad situations more than I like bad being the norm because it's a bad situation.
Okay.
It's a lot harder to be good in a bad situation than it is to be bad in a bad situation, just less bad than the next guy. So, like, I gave Jake a copy of David Gemmel's Wolf and Shadow, which is pretty much kind of post-apocalyptic battle of good and evil and cowboy all kind of mixed up together.
There you go.
It's a series I like a lot, but because the vein that Jake's writing in, I thought it might be it adds some interesting elements for him, and he liked it unless he was humoring me. I'm pretty sure he was honest about liking it and not just humoring me. But either way, I just like that much more, where it's somebody trying to do good things in a hard time to be a good person, let alone to do good things. I think that's much more interesting than people who just are lesser of evils. I mean, don't get me wrong, an anti-hero is fine. I'm not going to say that I don't like the Punisher or whatever, and he's an anti-hero. He's not strictly a good guy or whatever. But when you see one that really does make those sacrifices to be good or do the right things or save somebody else, it's way more interesting to me. It keeps my attention better and makes me feel better about how I believe or try to try to be. Still look like a hat to you?
No, but I can. If you were to take that and just do an outline of it, I can turn that into a hat real fast. That's all I was saying. That's all you had, really. I mean, you had the ghost of the abs and stuff, but it's just. And you also knew what the heck you were going to be drawing, so I'm just looking over here, and all I could see was a faint outline and a little bit of shading, and I was like, all right, okay, cool. And again, I told you what it was, so obviously it read enough. I just had to think about it at that stage, and it's that thing where you know where you are in the process. I just trust the process and just go along for the ride. I found out that the guy that plays Reacher is only an inch taller than I am.
Alan Richardson, yeah. But he's a buff.
Yeah, I know. I was like, yeah. He's a tad more. He's in a different shape than I am. Let's just put it that way. Ugh.
Yeah, so I was prepared for the tentacle scene. When you said it, I was like, oh, yes, I know exactly what I want to do. And then I was like, I don't know if I'm going to have room to do that without being a splash page. And then I don't know if I can do a splash page that soon.
There's a splash page coming up.
I really don't want to cheat the story because I want people to get story from it more than just imagery. Like, imagery is great, don't get me wrong, and I'm into it for the imagery, but I want the story to be just as memorable and powerful as the imagery.
Let me see if I can pull up the file here. There we go. Yeah, page 10 is a full page. And so if you want to do a splash page, which it literally says Mastiff and dynamic death grip of the sewer mole from hell. So you want to do it. It's just page 10.
Well, which page am I doing?
Well, that's up to you. I'm just letting you know that there is a thing for it.
Well, I'm just
I am
saying,
fighting for 8 and 9 and then a full page thing.
this is page 8, correct?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I'm simply saying, if you want to draw a full page him, fighting, that's page 10. I like that the bots can find us, though.
I like that the bots care about finding us.
Well, I would like to hope that at some point in time that we would get, more viewers, but, the algorithm could push us maybe a little. But, hey, at least the bots find us. I saw some videos, like just the titles. I wasn't bothering to watch them, but I saw some titles where it was kind of clear that I didn't know this, but apparently they've changed some things with G.I. Joe lore, or specifically Cobra lore. And I was like, what? Excuse me? Like it's some kind of like it's a mantle that's passed around, and I was like, "What? What?"
Probably between Republicans.
I don't know. I haven't read anything past the first run.
Well, if they do anything like what they did with Captain America and fucking Hydra, then it'll actually be G.I. Joe.
Yeah, G.I. Joe was the terrorist all along.
The long lost G.I. Joe. He was the motherfucker that did it all.
Yeah. Jeez.
So you want to have him fighting this thing for 3 pages?
Well, we don't have to. I just
Four pages? Because there's a resolution, right? On a different page.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just wondering because right now, that would be I'm not complaining. Like if half the comic is him fighting, but I just don't want him to half the comic be fighting something incidental. If when there's something else that not even half the comic, but half the comic to date. When there's still a whole bunch of mission to go on.
Well, do you think that it's conveyed well enough?
But hold on a second, not to interrupt that question, but I was gonna say for Christmas I got another pad. I told my wife I was gonna run out of paper.
Well, all I'm saying is, for the question, is that is the where he was versus where he is now, is that conveyed well enough without at least some more additional pages or a page or panels? And
I don't
The
know if I
reason
can
why-
answer.
page 10 is because I didn't feel like I could put it on page 8. And I didn't think you wanted it on page 9 because page 9 was the wrong. Like, you're going to see that before you've read the story.
What?
Well, page
Hold
9
a
is on
sec.
the right.
Hold on a second. So yeah, but that would be the difference between a double page spread and a splash page. I mean, you could have a full page without being a double page spread.
Right, but
And that's fine. Like I want to shoot for clarification with this next question, so I'm
yeah,
taking my time to try to formulate it so it doesn't sound weird or wrong. So when you ask, is that enough? It depends on what you're enough for what. I mean,
does it convey? What is a reader going to get confused? Like, what the hell? When the hell did this happen? Like, that's the only thing I'm worried about is that the
Well,
reader
hopefully-
can follow continuity and understands a cause and effect. That's it.
well, we see him going down into the underground. We see him crawling through the crawl, and we see him jumping down from the crawl in this panel. Now the question is whether this is going to be the next panel. Like I was thinking this would be an alright panel, like for the size it is, really. But have another one over here to have, because you were talking about something coming up behind him.
Yeah.
But I almost think about like this with something coming up behind him is a big panel, right? But it's not. If it was a normal comic book and not a graphic novel, that page would be reserved for the big baddie. You know what I mean? The first time the big guy attacks and there's going to be a fight scene. Is this going to be the big guy attack? You know, is this going to be a major attack, or is it an inconvenience on his way?
It's an inconvenience on his way.
Okay, so the page that I have underneath this, let's do it this way. This is page 1 of this inconvenience, right?
Yeah.
Because this is where he jumps down out of the crawl. And I'm trying to figure out whether this should be here and, you know, like maybe even bigger, so that it'll be here and then you'll have something behind him with tentacles coming out. It almost feels like a real Demogorgon.
Okay.
Do you know what the real Demogorgon looks like?
A real well,
Like
let's do
the original Demogorgon from Dungeons and Dragons that they changed for Strange.
Stranger Things.
Yeah, Stranger Things.
I guess not.
All right, so I'll show you because I have done actually a couple of watercolors and drawings of them. I have one right off.
Wait, so the piece of paper that you have with the smaller drawing up in the upper left-hand corner does that get shrunk down then? Is that what we're saying? Like that's like one. I'm confused.
This?
No.
This.
That, yeah.
That's actual size. It's only that big. This is a panel. It can be an inset panel. It doesn't have to be an inset panel, but it can be an inset panel. Let me show you what I'm talking about with This is basically a Demogorgon. It doesn't necessarily have to be big enough for this to be a kid, but it's generally an ape with tentacles like this. It's a two-headed or twin ape with tentacles like that. And I almost want to do that in the sewers instead of doing a star mole, because star moles to me aren't scary looking.
Dude, I only said star mole because I didn't give a shit.
No, and so we're talking. I'm trying to have a conversation, not dictate or whatever. Oh, cool!
You have my blessing if you would like to do the Demogorgon.
There's a new button. Did you see that at the bottom? I don't know if you can see it.
What?
There is something that pops up in a small window that says stop sharing. So I don't have to click out of it. I could just click stop sharing and it's not sharing anymore.
Huh.
I thought that was pretty cool. And the camera backed off again.
Back off.
You motherfucker. I know, sweet talking is not getting me anywhere. But apparently doing it the right way isn't getting me anywhere either.
Sometimes I like a rougher tone. But anyway, yeah, I mean, if you want it to be I don't care. I told you before.
I was like, I don't know what you want to draw. I know what needs to be here. Like, I know the beat that needs to happen, but I didn't care about necessarily what it was because I knew it wasn't that important of it. Like, it needs to happen, but it's not like the crux of the whole storyline. It's just something that happens. So, it shows it introduces the reader to some of the dangers, the fact that you got weird ass monsters out there. Things are going on. It kind of gives you the scope. It also gave him something to do because he's still going on his So I felt like it was an important beat, but it could have been if you wanted it to be a Demogorgon, sweet. If you wanted it to be a prehistoric sea creature, I wouldn't have cared. Giant squid, I don't care.
Did you get my message last night?
What was your message last night?
So one of the Christmas presents my wife got me.
Yeah? Was this on Facebook or Discord?
On Facebook. But I got I was giving your favorite writer another chance.
Oh yeah.
Like it was an interesting synopsis on the story. So instead of it being about amoebas and whatever weird creatures, not that I'm saying that there's no weird creatures because we know better than that, but it starts off with things that are sunken flying in the air and icebergs in the air and stuff like that. So she bought me 3 credits on Audible, and I went to get one historical fiction book called China by Edward Rutherford. It's a huge book. It's like 34 hours. And it was a part of a 2-for-1 sale. So I'm looking through the pages, and like on page 2, I'm like, I've never seen that China Miéville book. And then I kind of grazed over it, moused over it to see what it was, and I was like, this doesn't look like it's about squids and having a love affair or something. So
I have not read that one, so I don't know.
Which one?
I remember you sent it. I don't remember.
It's three
moments of an explosion.
Yeah.
So, it's so funny. Anyway.
Yeah, well, like I was saying, it was interesting to me that another one of his books that actually got my attention. Like I was hoping for more from Kraken, but Kraken was just like it just seemed like it was an excuse to be weird. And when I started to read the Perdido Street Station twice, well, I'm emphasizing twice only because it's not like I didn't give it a chance. I gave it 2 chances. It just I couldn't get into the fact that it was severely non-human protagonists, at least to begin with.
Yeah, I agree.
In
Scott.
Kraken, at least it was a human protagonist that stepped into the super weird shit, you know?
That might be why the second book in the Boss Log series, which it's each of the books are standalone books. It's a series by location, nothing else. But the protagonist is a woman. So yeah, it was easier, and maybe because I'd already read the first book, but it was easier to kind of get into. Whereas the first one, yeah, that it's the Kepri, and then I forget whatever the Hawkman type thing that is there. And
Yeah, I don't think I got that far. It was
Wow.
a date. It was a date between 2 like sea urchins or something like that. It was really weird because I was like, how do they go to a high class restaurant and nobody's like, hey, there's some sea creatures in here having tea.
Yeah.
You know, like that just it was like I don't know if I can do this.
So I was working on a science fiction, what I thought was going to be a short story, because I feel like I've already written a large portion of this.
That's how they all start. I think they're going to be.
Yeah, well, it's already. Now, that last short story that I won't mention just because it's submitted for a story, and who knows.
Yeah, I've got 2 of them. That's that way.
But that last short story that you guys read, it's under 5,000 words. I even made it longer because Jake didn't like. He had a hard time with the chronology, and so I spent a good chunk of time working on developing the chronology better.
But it's for the ongoing novel that you were writing.
Well, it's based in that world with some of the characters that are there. But
Well, that's what I was saying. Like it's for that story. That
Yeah, it just works. I don't know why. I guess I can't judge the length of concept, but oh.
Anyway, but yeah, I was working on it on this new thing, and it's kind of related to that other story, the last short story that you wrote or that you read. Anyway, it was
seems like you're kind of taken with this one world, huh?
well, I have discovered ever since I wrote that short story for that anthology that comes out January, I think 15th. I have really enjoyed building up, like doing some serious world building first, and then playing in the world. And I found I like that. I like it a lot. It is something I've enjoyed, and then it seems like I can crank out more work. But I was stuck with a grammar question. Really, it's a grammar preference. And I think I've stuck with what's correct, even though it may not be what people will want, which is weird. But when you think about like alien races, if they're not named after the planet, they really shouldn't be capitalized. And a lot of things suggest.
Well, if you're talking about like man and cat and dog aren't necessarily capitalized.
well, like human isn't capitalized.
Well, yeah,
So
that's what I'm saying. Like if you say it was a man, you don't capitalize man.
Right.
You
But a
don't
lot of places-
capitalize dog. I actually agree with that because it's the same thing with jobs. Like if it's a cop, it doesn't get a capitalized word because it's a cop. Now, if it's officer so and so, that's different. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
if it's
I think because of Star Trek and to some extent Star Wars, where a lot of times the race is named after the planet that they come from, although not always. But yeah, like I think they capitalize most of the alien races. Like they'll say, if he's a Hut, even though there's no planet Hut that I know of, they still capitalize it. And
well, I think that's a family name.
no, that's a race.
I was always under the impression it was a family name.
Nah, it's a race. It's got to be a race.
I know Wookiee is a race, and they do capitalize that, but I thought Hut was always a family name.
Well, according to Google AI,
Well, that's reliable.
yeah. Although Wikipedia says Huts were a large slug-like sentient species.
Okay, well, that's also reliable.
Well, I know.
But like it's not really hugely relevant. But like I said, because Wookiees we know are species, and we know they capitalize Wookiees, so
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It only makes sense in a way from a human centric viewpoint because it's kind of like that thing where we capitalize the Quran but we don't capitalize the Bible because the Bible's so ubiquitous. That's what it is. Although now people capitalize it.
what?
Well, Bible, as in the Bible,
Yeah.
used to not get capitalized. That's just what it was.
See, I was always under the impression that when you use the article "the" in front of it, meaning it's the only one, then it does get a capital. But if you say like Story Bible, it doesn't because it's not the only one.
Yeah, but if I said like there was a Bible on the bed, you would automatically assume that was the Bible. And
But you say A, so like yeah, I mean I'm just saying that's what I was taught is that if you say the, like if you say the captain or the president, it would get capitalized. But if you say A, then it doesn't because it's not a specific term. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just always what I was taught. So
well, anyway, so
not to start a dispute.
yeah, I know. That's why I was just like, yeah, okay, then, and moving on. Well, interesting.
I'm also saying I don't know. So I only know what I've been told.
What you're saying makes sense, sort of.
Yeah, it's a sort of thing for me too, but that's just what I've been told. That's all.
Yeah. So, but whatever.
Why
But
I
it's
picked
those
up
things
that from
where
all the things my teachers told me, I don't know.
I'm looking at how to because I started off I was capitalizing all these alien races, and then I was like, no, I should not. If I say, that this is a she's Wookiee. Wookiee shouldn't be, the Wookiee sat over by the bar, or
Right.
that Wookiee over by the bar. Both those should not be capitalized. It's the same way.
Or
as human.
she's a Wookiee is different than that's the Wookiee, even though it really isn't, but it is.
There's some slight difference, but again,
Brandon Sanderson actually covered the question of punctuation in stories. And what he said actually makes the most sense and the least sense.
Okay, hit me with it.
Keep it consistent.
Oh no, that's fine. That's
Like no matter what you decide about it, keep it consistent. Like if you want to do, because he capitalizes his races as well.
yeah.
But he's like, just keep it consistent because you're communicating with somebody, and you
Right.
don't want to lose consistency, which that makes a lot of sense when you think about it in those terms. Because how many fantasy readers or science fiction readers or whatever are going to be going, oh, you capitalized the word that shouldn't be capitalized? I don't think that's going to happen a lot.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I said a lot. I'm not saying at all.
Yeah.
Obviously,
It will
there's always
happen.
going to be one. There's always
Yeah.
going to be one asshole that comes along and says, "You can't do it that way," even though that guy's published and he's
Yeah.
a best-selling author or whatever.
Well, it was
He
an
obviously can do it that way. You just don't like it that way. It may not be strunk and white, but it doesn't necessarily
It's like
have
I
to
was
be
working
strunk and
on a
white.
section today where I had to. I had two sentences. That's not my daddy, and where is daddy? Right next to each other. Same person talking. That's not my daddy. Where's daddy? And
Yep.
so on the first one, daddy does not get capitalized, and on
I
the second
agree.
one, it does.
Yes, because
And
it's an appellation.
right, but it's one of those things where it looks weird as hell. And I'm like, I know this is correct. I know this is 100% correct. I can explain why it is. Still looks weird.
And like I don't think so, but maybe it's because I know enough to know better. But I don't find that odd at all. Like because you're just saying daddy, that's like the Orson Scott Card with talking about daddy, mother, father, or whatever. Like if you call them and you think of them as that's their proper name to you.
Yeah.
It's a proper name. When you say that's not my daddy, that's one thing, but you don't call him, my daddy. You call him dad. So I don't know. It's kind of tricky if you think about it, but on the other hand, it's also kind of simple. It's what you call him is a proper name because that's what you call him. So in that light, a nickname like Soda Pop from that novel you hate,
Mm-hmm.
that should be capitalized because everybody knows him as Soda Pop.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're drinking a Soda Pop, that wouldn't be capitalized.
And there's a good reason to know those rules so that you understand what you're saying when you say, I took a big, long drink of soda pop.
Right. I felt that Soda Pop burn as it went down my throat.
Yeah.
You want to be specific. I'm glad there's only one person watching us. Though I suspect it'll be a higher number that have kind of popped in and out. We just don't see it. I get informed after the stream. There's been so many people in the stream. So I'm trying to, with this suit, and I'm telling you and everybody else, and whether it works or not, what I'm trying to do with this suit is, even though I love to draw veins and muscle tones and all that, I want to get basic shapes. I want you to see that that's where his ribs are, and basically that's the shape of his ribs. But I don't want that suit to be like, I don't believe that you should see that Batman's veins. I don't believe you should see a whole shitload of veins through Batman's suit. If he's thick enough to stop bullets and it's got Kevlar and all this other stuff underneath of it, there's no fucking way.
Right.
Unless it's there for looks, just to intimidate somebody, like the James Gunn idea of a Batman suit. But yeah, so I'm trying to simplify it enough so that you can get the shapes, but not the absolute detail. Like I don't want to get super detailed. And I've been thinking about this a lot as I look through other stuff as I'm drawing and taking breaks from the drawing, and because I don't draw fast, and even when I draw the layouts like this, I'm doing stuff to get shape, but I'm cutting out, putting the veins in. So I want the suit to be outstanding in one way, but I want it to be where James Gunn or Zack Snyder could film the suit, and wouldn't necessarily
I
matter.
don't understand throwing shade. Like that's the problem that I have with what I see a lot of the stuff, and some of it's because of the fan base. But when James Gunn is trying to throw shade on Henry Cavill, and the way he treated Henry Cavill by getting him to appear in Black Adam, and then firing him like the next day. I mean, it's just.
Well, there's an argument that the only reason that Henry Cavill was in that was because The Rock made that part of the deal. So it was The Rock's choice and not James Gunn's choice or whoever directed that. Did James Gunn direct that?
No.
I was gonna
I
say
think he was in charge.
I didn't think so, and I'm thinking, because that wasn't a huge success.
No, it was not. There hasn't been much like. Let me see. That last Joker movie bombed.
Yep.
I mean, the Batman did great.
I think the Batman was before Gunn.
Well, it's at least separate from Gunn. He doesn't get to have control over that one. Because, at least from my understanding of it, because there are rumors that say he's trying to get them to fold that into his universe.
Oh yeah, because
And-
he wants the success tagged onto him.
Yeah, well, that's.
So I have no particular feelings one way or another towards James Gunn, except for the fact that it's not about doing the fans justice or the actual story justice. It's about doing it his way.
Yeah.
Like,
That's-
because he's using different Superman writers that were not actually the best writers as source material because I believe it fits his agenda. But we'll see,
Yeah, I
right?
know. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I don't wish it ill will. Like, I don't want it to bomb. There have been movies where I was like, I hope this goes down in flames.
I agree.
This isn't one.
I don't either, but I just don't think that, like, I don't know. I guess there's a little bit of ill will, not ill will, but I just think
Something go on with your speakers, your mic? What? Yeah, all that just sounds like static. Uh-huh. Like, I can tell you're talking, that's about it.
I don't know. This is a better card. It actually has a better setup. So I've downloaded yeah, and it just backed off on the film too.
And it's also starting to sound better.
Yeah, because I'm turning my head. Does it sound the same or better?
Well, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's the difference between you looking at the mic and not. And it shouldn't be because the mic has a setting where it's mostly picking up from the front and then to the side. I'm starting to suspect it has something to do with Starboard, actually, because this happens and look at the time, about 2 hours in, and that's generally when that shit starts to go.
Huh.
It didn't go for over an hour and a half.
Huh. That's weird.
I'm gonna, like, when I'm on the stream, I'm gonna stick around for a minute and see if you still hear it the same way, just when it's you and me, without it streaming. But anyway, like, I achieved most of what I wanted to do with the actual drawing, so it's the setup for what's coming. So I'll call it a night, because we were supposed to be short anyway, and it still made 2 hours. And right now, I'm literally arm's length away from that microphone, talking in a different direction. And it's set for cardiac, so it should be only really picking up clearly in front. The gain is low. How about this?
That was fine.
So I turned the gain all the way down.
Okay.
How's it right now?
That's not bad.
I moved a half a foot closer.
Yeah, that's. So you're just too close, or it's too sensitive?
Yeah, but the gain's all the way down, so it shouldn't be. And I'm talking at it from the side when it's supposed to be like, this is from the front.
Okay.
And this is my arm's length minus my hand away from the mic.
I don't know.
And how is that sounding?
Well, I mean, it's better than what it was.
All right. How about now?
You can understand you. It's just, it's got this static end on it. That's how best way I can put it.
Yeah. Brand new cord, brand new mic, brand new stand, brand new system.
See, that's all good.
So yeah, it can't be. And actually, the port that it's plugging into to plug into the laptop is brand new as well. So nothing from the mic to the laptop can be it.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. How about here? Does that make any difference?
Sounds fine.
Does this still sound fine?
It's understandable.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I have to be halfway across the room. Move this mic stand way up here. How's that?
That was not that great.
Is it not that great right now?
That's fine.
All right, so what I did was move the mic further away from me to the point where the earphones, you can see the cord for the earphones, aren't even hanging low enough to touch the desk. And if I stretch my hand out full length of my body, this is how far away from my desk it is. And you know this is the edge of my desk. So the microphone, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on with it. So it leads me to believe that it's not the microphone anyway. Because the microphone's gain's turned all the way down pretty much. So that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense.
I don't know.
I just turned the computer volume down. Let me go look at the settings on. So how about that?
Sounds fine.
That sounds good.
Say that again.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull the mic closer. How about that?
Yeah, you start getting scratchy.
How about now?
Not bad.
What I'm doing is turning the volume down on the system. So what I'm going to do is raise it up a little bit and automatically adjust mic volume and reduce background noise. And how about that?
Sounded fine.
So I have actually pulled the microphone closer. I have automatically adjust the microphone and reduce the mix on the background noise and canceled echo. So, and my gain's all the way down on my mic. So, I have no idea. Like, if it sounds clear right now, then
It does.
yeah. That when I first started messing with the volume on StreamYard, it literally started doing this shit when I had all this stuff clicked that I just clicked again.
Yeah.
So I clicked it experimenting, and then it started doing the shit that you were claiming it did just a minute ago. Not saying claiming as in I don't believe you, but claiming as in I can't hear it. And then I just put that stuff all back on, and now it's fine. So I gotta believe it has something to do with friggin' StreamYard.
I don't know. It's an odd thing. It's an odd thing that it goes in the middle of the.
Yeah, it's an odd thing it goes 2 hours into the broadcast, and it's an
Yeah.
odd thing that it's so loud you can't hear my voice, it's muffled and all that stuff with the gain all the way down. Like all the way down. And then when I turn the volume down on the system, on the StreamYard system, the settings, I had to almost turn it all the way down to get you to hear me. And then I clicked on the stuff that I clicked off because it was doing it last time. So I'm puzzled. I'm perplexed. I guess I'm gonna have to keep going back and forth between setting it on on automatic controls or not.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have no clue. But I know that this mic is brand new, so there's no way that it's the mic. The mic is brand new, the cord is brand new, the port that it's plugged into is brand new. The only thing that's not brand new is the laptop and StreamYard, so if I gotta choose between the two, I can't afford a new laptop. I'm gonna go with it trying to be StreamYard. So let's close the stream down and I'll talk to you for a few minutes afterwards to see if this mic is acting up then.
Okay.
Alright, so everyone that watched, thanks for watching. Everyone that likes, subscribed, or followed, I'm sorry. Have a good night. Hope you had a good Christmas. Have a good New Year.
Yeah.
Good night. God bless. That's
Peace out.